Okay, we're going to do a little tune-up on this Maier TA4. I ran it earlier, and you can tell which cylinders are firing by touching the exhaust pipes once it's run for a little bit. If it won't run at all, you can just start by taking 3 of the 4 rods off and check each cylinder. You need to make sure each one is firing consistently. I know from running it earlier that this one is the one that was colder than the others, so it was missing off and on and not running consistently. The engine will actually run with, if you have 2 good firing cylinders, it will actually run with 2 disconnected. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the ones I know to be firing properly. And they're just Allen head screws or cap head screws with a spacer. Just set those to the side. Typically, when you have an issue with one cylinder, it's either fuel flow, spark, or the valve isn't sealing, or the valve for the fuel or the gas is not releasing. Actually, it's not closing, and typically it's either that valve is not closing or the adjustment that for the valve that lets the gas into the cylinder is not adjusted properly. These little screws here, they're lock screws. There's a screw that goes in the center to push against this rod, and then this nut on top locks onto that. And you don't ever want to over tighten those. On this particular engine, these are made of brass, so they can be stripped very easily. So I definitely try not to over tighten those, but every once in a while one will vibrate loose after some run time. I'm going to disconnect the other 2 cylinders. Be careful taking these out. Just be gentle when putting them back in. You don't want to cross thread them. This is just an aluminum plate. Now we've removed those 3. You push those cylinders to the top from the rod so they're out of the way, and rotate the engine so this point is the highest point up. And at that point, when you if you have butane in here and pressure, you should hear it come on. And let's see, I may have one. Okay, every once in a while one of these will push against here. There. So you should have no fuel flow. And as you crank this one down, you can see where that one starts to open. And we can spin this on, and it's not going to run because you only have 1 cylinder attached, but you'll know if it's firing or not. Yeah. You can hear it's firing some, but not totally consistently. So we'll adjust this and try to get a consistent firing. Loosen that so we have full adjustment. I'll usually turn this so this is down to its lowest point, and you'll feel a little play there. You want a little bit of play. And, get this one out of the way. Come on. That could be another issue. I've got one that's staying open. One thing about butane is it's heavier than air, so in this area you don't want to let a lot flow, especially not with an open flame. It'll cause a fire. All your butane will come out and lay on the surface wherever it is. It won't rise or dissipate as well as other gases. So I'm trying to see here. May adjust this one just slightly because we want it to go off when it's at the top. Let's see. Push this one to the top, make sure everything's up out of the way. Okay. As this comes down, don't want it to come down that high, so we'll back the screw out a little bit. A little bit, see if I can't get it to where it fires consistently. Here for a second while I get it adjusted.